Did you know that Halloween Ends was going straight to streaming on Peacock? Or that we're getting a Roadhouse reboot with Jake Gyllenhaal? Or that Superman and Lois is recasting Jonathan Kent? That one shocked me. We also have the Clue reboot with Ryan Reynolds, and we have a live-action King Kong series going to Disney+. We got a lot to talk about. Thanks for clicking on this video. If you're new here, I'm Kevin, and obviously we talk about a lot of movie stuff here. News, reviews, trailer reactions, all that. So if it interests you, consider hitting that subscribe button. Now, the first thing I want to cover is this King Kong live action series that's coming to Disney+. Now, as I talk about this and all the other stories, make sure you're dropping your comments down below on your thoughts on each of these topics. Now, King Kong, I didn't realize that Disney had any kind of take on the King Kong franchise. I'm still a little unclear on who has the rights, but obviously Disney has some here. Now, they're talking about here on Deadline that Disney TV is in early development on a King Kong series for Disney+. Now, it says deals were just closed for the project from James Wan's Atomic Monster, which would mark the first live-action series in the Kong universe. Deadline further says that the series will explore the mythology of King Kong's origin story and the supernatural mysteries of his home based on IP from Marion C. Cooper's original books and the new King Kong novelizations by Joe DeVito. So it seems like we have a lot of very talented, knowledgeable people working on this Kong series, and diving into his origin and his original home is something we haven't really done too much of before, other than, say, Skull Island, which is what we saw more of him as an adolescent. So a complete origin story would be very interesting, since we did dive a little bit into that in Kong vs. Godzilla. And I think that it really did spark a bit of an interest. So I think this series could definitely open up a whole new door to this franchise. But of course, I want to know your thoughts on that down below before we move on to our next topic, which is going to be the Clue reboot. This is an older movie that I know so many people are not aware of. If you haven't seen it, you're really missing out. But if you did see it, you know it is a great movie. It is very funny. It's definitely, it takes a special person to appreciate it, because it's definitely quirky and corny and a little weird at times, but it's so hilarious. It's got a huge cast to it. The original movie starred Tim Curry as the butler, and I think Ryan Reynolds may be taking his place in this one. I'm not 100% sure. We don't have details exactly yet. The movie's kind of been in developmental limbo for a while, but now we're getting a new writer. The original script was written by Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, but now Oren Uzel, I think I'm pronouncing that right, who wrote The Lost City, Escape Room, Tournament of Champions, The Cloverfield Paradox, is now being told to give the new script a rewrite, or a big reworking, as they put it. So we finally stepped out of limbo and moving forward, getting this script done, and hopefully we're going to find out more about the casting, because if Ryan Reynolds is in it, I know there's going to have to be some other big names in it, because he tends to pull some of those other big names in. Now, I know that's not a lot of news on the Clue movie, but, you know, at least we're moving forward and things are progressing. All right, so now we want to move on to the topic that shocked me the most when I heard it, and that was Superman and Lois is going to be recasting the part of Jonathan Kent. Jordan Elsas is the one that's been playing Jonathan Kent the first 2 seasons, and he has already stated that he will not be returning for season 3. I'm really shocked about this. I like him as Jonathan Kent. He meshes well with every other cast member, not just 1 or 2. He doesn't just mesh well with his brother or with Superman. He meshes well with everybody. I like him in this role. So to hear he's not going to be returning is kind of disheartening. I don't like when shows recast members in the middle of a series. Like, this isn't like the very beginning. This isn't a pilot episode, and then all of a sudden we started changing cast members. We're 2 seasons in, and now we got to change a pivotal character and hope we can get someone that can mesh as well as him with every other cast member. And this is something that this is going to be a make or break, I think, for the series, not just for this character. So this is going to be tough. Now, we may even know who this new actor is thanks to another YouTube channel that goes by Pagey. This is something I never would have picked up, and I'm actually glad I stumbled across this. He's been doing some reporting on this as well, and he's found an Instagram account for someone named Julian Daniel Reese, or just Julian Reese as it says on here. And he's an actor in the University of North Carolina's School of Arts. The thing is, he doesn't have a lot of followers. He's not a big name, but if you look at the picture, he does kind of sort of resemble Jordan Elsass a little bit. But the more important thing here is that he's being followed now, which apparently was a recent follow, by Alex Garfin, who plays Jordan Kent, and CW Superman and Lois official page. So this is a little suspicious that this guy all of a sudden is being followed by the cast and creators of the show, and he slightly resembles Jordan Elsass. This is not confirmation that he's going to be playing Jonathan Kent, but it is raising a couple eyebrows that this could be a possibility. I don't know. I'm just so blown away by this. I don't even know what to think about it. Like, I want to know what your thoughts are of recasting someone mid-series, not even mid-season. I'm just talking 2 seasons in. We got to get a whole new major actor. So I want to know what your thoughts are of the possibility of this guy, Julian, stepping in as Jonathan Kent in Superman and Lois. All right, moving on to our next story, which is going to be the Roadhouse reboot with Jake Gyllenhaal. I want to know who is in dire love with the original. Absolutely love the original Patrick Swayze. I mean, it's about a bouncer and bar fights. I mean, how do you not love it? Now, I know a lot of people are probably going to say, it's a Patrick Swayze classic. You can't reboot it. But I think this could be done really well. I mean, Jake Gyllenhaal is taking the place of Patrick Swayze as the main character, and I like the casting. I do. Patrick Swayze was a good-looking guy who could fight. Jake Gyllenhaal is a good-looking guy that can fight. It works for me. So we have an updated casting list for this reboot. What we have, obviously, Jake Gyllenhaal is going to be the lead. We also have Billy McNewson, Lucas Gage, Hannah Love Lanier. Here we go again. The next one I'm not even going to try to pronounce. I'm just going to put it down on the bottom of the screen. And we're even getting the film debut of UFC champion Conor McGregor. Now, I think we have an idea of where he's going to fit into this based on the story and the plot that we've got so far. And as it says, the remake has made a few changes, and we'll see Jake Gyllenhaal as a former UFC fighter who takes a job as a bouncer at a rough and tumble roadhouse in Florida Keys, and soon discovers that not everything is quiet as it seems in the tropical paradise. So with that being said, I'm assuming that Conor McGregor is going to be doing his own thing as a UFC fighter with Jake Gyllenhaal in the beginning. We'll get a little bit of a storyline going. That's when Jake Gyllenhaal will retire. Maybe Conor McGregor beats him up or does something that gets him kicked out of the UFC. Who knows? So I want to know who's excited for a Roadhouse reboot. Now, finally, Halloween ends. This is one. I love my horror movies. I love Halloween. I love this time of year. All the good, fun, spooky movies come out. And Halloween Kills. Last we saw, the entire town botched up killing Michael Myers. He should be dead. He's not. They totally screwed that up. Laurie Strode was in the hospital most of the movie, and I was kind of disappointed with that. It felt like a big disconnect there between her and Michael Myers, but supposedly that's being fixed this time around. But just like Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends is going straight to streaming on Peacock the same day of its theatrical release. So if you don't want to see it in the theaters or can't get to the theaters, you can watch it at home on Peacock. Now, Jamie Lee Curtis herself had something to say about that. And she said, "We discovered that there are people who want to go to the theaters and scream their guts out, and other people who want to stay at home and scream their guts out. But what we knew is that people watched, and we got great results both at the box office and from streaming. She said, this year we want to make sure as many people as possible can see Halloween Ends before Halloween. So we decided to give the same gift to the fans again. Now I want to know down below, did you watch Halloween Kills in the theater or did you watch it at home on Peacock? Me personally, I watched it at home on Peacock because I have kids and it's hard for me to get out and see movies all the time. But once they go to bed, I can stream them and watch them at home. And that's what I do a lot of. I get to the theaters when I can, if I can get out of the house or something like that. It's a great time. It's a great experience. And I do prefer that. But that's not always the case for me. And I'm sure that's the case with a lot of you as well. Now, in case you need a recap on Halloween Ends, the synopsis goes as followed. It says Halloween Ends picks up 4 years after the events of Halloween Kills, as Laurie is living with her granddaughter Allison and is finished writing her memoir. According to the film's logline, Michael Myers hasn't been seen since. Laurie, after allowing the specter of Michael Myers to determine and drive her reality for decades, she's decided to liberate herself from fear and rage and embrace life. But when a young man is accused of killing a boy he was babysitting, it ignites a cascade of violence and terror that will force Laurie to finally confront the evil she can't control once and for all. So let me know down below if you're planning on going to see this in the theater or if you're going to be sitting on your couch watching it on Peacock, which is most likely what I'm going to be doing. Thanks for tuning into this video. I greatly appreciate it. If you did enjoy it, please drop a like on the video for me. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'm Kevin, and I'll see you at the concession stands.